Testimonies of ancient Olympian gods' intervention in critical moments of history, as recorded in ancient legends. According to the historical testimonies of Herodotus the ancient Greek, and also Pausanias and Plutarch, these were all recordings of ancients. There was a dynamic intervention of the Olympian gods in favor of the ancient Greeks at critical moments in their history. Plutarch writes of the Battle of Marathon that took place in the year 490 BC. Theseus was 35 years old. Quote, after years of the Athenians began to honor Theseus as a hero for other reasons as well, because they fought the Persians at Marathon. Many saw it clearly, his range to lead them armed against barbarians. Pausanias even mentions the appearance of a mysterious man, Ehetleos, in the Battle of Marathon. This was written in Attica 32. It happened, as they say, to present a man in the form of a costume of a villager. He looked like he was a villager, but he was a giant in a flaming light with a flaming sword, and he destroyed many of the barbarians, the Persians that is, by plowing them with his lightning rod. It was almost, I guess you would describe it as a laser weapon. He disappeared after the battle. Now, the god Apollo did not say anything else to the Athenians when they asked him when they received an amulet from the Oracle of Delphi, but he urged them to honor Ehetlaus as a hero. So who was this mysterious man, Ehetlaus, who was a giant of a light being with something that looked like a laser sword, cutting down the Persians, 50 at a time? Now, Herodotus recounts the following about the Persians who were sent to the Oracle of Delphi in order to plunder it after the Battle of Thermopylae, the Hot Gates. That's where the 300 Spartans with Leonidas tried to stave off the Persians. In other words, they were buying time so that the people in the south of them the Greeks to the south, would have time to organize themselves to fight against the Persians. Thermopylae means hot gates. So that happened in 480 AD, as written in Eureka, verses 8 and 36. Quote, when the barbarians came close, that is, the Persians, seeing from their position the sanctuary, the priest called Akiratos sees sacred weapons coming out of the sanctuary moving in front of the temple. Again, these were sacred weapons. They were some kind of high advanced technology. Of course, it's a great miracle that automatic weapons were automatically displayed in front of the temple, but the second point that follows is it is worth admiring them more than all the phenomena. When the barbarians, that is, the Persians, hurried into the temple of Athena Pronia, lightning struck them from the sky, while two peaks from the mountain Parnassos were cut and fell onto them with great force and overwhelmed many of them. In other words, two lightnings struck the mountains, and there was a landslide, and this landslide crushed the Persians. How coincidental, or was it? Now, the Galatians had a similar fate with the Persians when they tried to plunder the Oracle of Delphi treasury in 279, as Pausanias mentions in Attica 4:4. Quote, so as soon as they got involved, lightning strikes were immediately directed against the Galatians, and stones were cut off from Parnassos mountain, and men armed with terror scandal stood up against the barbarians. Again, so the same thing that happened to the Persians happened to the Galatians. Plutarch mentions the following in the naval battle of Salamis. Again, it was the Athenians against the Persians in 480 BC, and the admiral there was Themistocles. The sea, as if many people made the utterance of the secret Jacob, and little by little it seemed to them that from the crowd shouting a cloud rose from the earth, which then lowered again and came and fell onto the triremes. Others said they saw clear spectrums and shadows of armed men coming with their arms outstretched from the island of Aegina, That's the island south of the port of Athens, which is Piraeus. So they saw men coming with their arms outstretched from Aegina on the side of the Greek ships, and Aeacles saying they were the gunmen who had been called by to their aid by the Greeks before the battle. So again, who are these things with these? As we know, the Athenians. That was the first time the Athenians had a navy against the Persians, and the Persian fleet was destroyed by a huge storm that was somehow out of nowhere kicked up. Italian Alberto Fenolia tells Clypius Anno, referring to Giovanni Gustavo's Storia de Alessandro il Grande, that when Alexander the Great besieged Tyre in 322 BC, quote, large silver shield, end quote, appeared in the sky, followed by 4 small ones. What is this silver shield with 4 smaller ones? It looks like, could it be a UFO with four smaller ones? Then the big silver shield threw a beam of light on the city walls, tearing them down, while the smaller ones were tore down the defensive towers, end quote. So, what was going on at the time of Alexander the Great? We knew that he had the lightning rod of Zeus that was given to him by an Atlantean from Hyperborea, which was Hyperborea meaning the Arctic, the high Arctic. And this Atlantean advanced technology, Zeus, lightning's rod of Zeus, was given to Alexander the Great. He conquered all of Asia up to the coast of China, and his generals erected a pillar, a stele, carved with the message that that's where the point of where Alexander the Great had reached the end of China. He was across the sea from Japan, and they also wrote in that message that the King Alexander's lightning rod had been carefully hidden, but there is a copy of it in one of the Buddhist monasteries in the Himalayas of Nepal. So what was Alexander given? He was given high technology. And what is this with the large silver shield appearing in the sky followed by the 4 smaller ones? The big silver shield throwing a beam of light on the city walls, tearing them down, while the smaller ones, the defensive towers. Very strange. Okay, so I've translated this for you from a Greek article, Diadrastika. Please tell me what you think. I think that there's something very strange about perhaps Atlanteans, perhaps, I don't know, angelic forces. I don't know what the situation is here. Please leave your comments. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.